welcome the City of Destin State of the City Address. We're all so happy to see this many people here to learn a little bit about our great city and a couple of things we've accomplished over the year. If you don't mind, we are going to stand for the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance. And I'd like to ask Mr. Jim Wood, would you please come forward to help me with that? Mr. Wood?
If you would bow your heads with me, please. Heavenly Father, we thank all of you in attendance tonight who have chosen to share fellowship with us on our annual State of the City Address, where we highlight things done well and identify challenges that lay ahead. Give us wisdom as we move on from this evening and wrestle with the myriad of issues that will arise over the remainder of the year. On all issues, we need not agree, but even in the face of occasional disagreement, we need to be a team providing professional and consistent leadership to our citizens. Guide and protect us as we execute our ordinances and policies required to ensure the city is the best that it can be. We ask that you provide your healing hand upon all those in our city in need. Protect our servicemen and women as they stand guard in conflict areas around the world. We ask for your special healing hand tonight on 3 of our local officials, Mr. Willigus, Mr. Foreman, and our city personnel manager, Chuck Garcia, as they deal with family loss and personal illness. We wish them well in what we know are difficult times. Together, we will continue to make Destin a world-class community, safe, prosperous, and fun, where all are free to live, work, and play to the best of their ability. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
Well done. Well, now, say our pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As most of you know, in Destin City's charter, the mayor must give a State of the City address every February, and I am so happy to present some of the successes and accomplishments that we've done over the past year. But before we begin, I can't even move forward without thanking a whole lot of people real quick. Our city staff is so amazing. When you see the decorations that they've put together, they work so hard to make this so very special for each one of you because they want to showcase our great city. And you don't have to stand up, but if you will raise your hands, I'd like to thank those who have put this together. Pam Boggs, Shelley Grelly, Karen Jankowski, Renee Goulart, Webb Warren, Cheryl Wyron, Angie Fears, and Steve Schmidt. And the person who really put a lot of time and energy and helped me with the actual presentation, putting the pictures and everything that you're going to see tonight, I could not do the job I do without Mr. Doug Rayner. So thank you so much. Raise your hand. We also have a lot of very important folks in our audience tonight. You're all important. You're all very important to me. But I feel like I need to introduce just a few. We have Commissioner Kelly Wines, and you don't have to stand up. You can raise your hand. The Executive Director of Maddie Kelly Arts Foundation, Marcia Hull. Captain Ted Paco with the Sheriff's Department. Where'd he go? Oh. I want to thank David Kidd, and he's going to look at me really odd, but thank you for taking your time to videotape this tonight so that it can be shared amongst a whole lot of people instead of just this room. Thank you so much for your time. I'd also like to thank Commissioner Donnie Amons, he's in here, for coming. Our esteemed Sheriff Ashley. Our President and CEO of our Destin Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Shane Moody. Our President of the Board of the Destin Chamber of Commerce, Miss Amy Perry. Our TDC Director, Mr. Ed Schroeder, right in the back. Thank you. And I think I've got that, I hope. If I've missed any, I'm very sorry. I'd also like to introduce now, starting with our city staff, our city manager, Mary Ann Eustick, right here. Our city attorney, Jerry Miller, couldn't be here, so he sent his beautiful wife, Miss Caroline Miller, in his stead, so thank you. Okay, now I want to introduce some other VIPs, our city council. Ms. Sandy Trammell, Kyron Marler, Mr. Jim Bagby, Mr. Tuffy Dixon, Mr. Jim Wood, and Mr. Foreman. And again, Mr. Willigus really wanted to be here tonight, but he is in the hospital, and we send our prayers to him. I want to talk a little bit about our wonderful city council. Our city council members, they really have their hearts in the right place. They're always looking out for the best interest of our residents, and I want to tell you a little bit about each and every one of them. Mr. Bagby. Mr. Bagby was elected in 2006 and again in 2010 for a second term. He serves on the Walton-Okaloosa-Santa Rosa Regional Utility Authority, the West Florida Regional Planning Council as a primary appointee, and last year he was selected as the Walton County TDC Director, and we wish him very well in that endeavor. Mr. Tuffy Dixon, he was elected in 2012. He's retired from the Destin Fire Control District after spending 19 years as our fire chief. He serves on the Okaloosa County Tourist Development Council Board. He's a member of the Walton-Okaloosa-Santa Rosa Regional Utility Authority as an alternate appointee. Tuffy is currently a field, excuse me, Mr. Councilmember Dixon. He's also my brother-in-law, so sorry I called him Tuffy. Tuffy is currently a field safety representative with the Bureau of Fire Standards and Training, part of the division of the State Fire Marshal's Office. Next up, we have Mr. Jim Foreman. He was re-elected in November of 2012. His previous terms were 1996-2000 and 2002 to 2006. We're very excited to have Mr. Foreman because without him, we would not have CRAs here in our great city. He serves on Okaloosa County Economic Development Council Policy Board, the Northwest Florida Military Sustainability Partnership as the alternate appointee, and he also serves as board member for the Destin Water Users. Mr. Kyron Marler, he was re-elected in 2012. His previous terms were 2000, 2004, 2004 to 2008. He's from a long line of Destinites and brings a wealth of history and knowledge to this council. Kyron is well known as the host for the Christmas tree lighting ceremony, a Christmas tradition in the Marler family and in Destin since 1915. He serves on the Okaloosa County Public Library Co-op as the alternate appointee. Next up, we have Councilmember Sandy Trammell. Mrs. Trammell was elected to the council in 2008 and is serving in her second term. She is Mayor Pro Tem for the City of Destin. She is also the chair of the Community Redevelopment Agency Board. She serves on the Florida League of Cities Board of Directors, the Northwest Florida League of Cities Board of Directors, the Okaloosa County Public Library Cooperative, and she also serves as a board member for the Destin Water Users. Mr. Larry Willigus was elected to his current term in 2010 and previously served on the council from 2000 to 2008. He's a member of the Seniors of Destin and is a major advocate for all seniors in the community. He is an active member of the Active Retired Men of Destin. He serves on the Okaloosa Walton Transportation Planning Organization and the YMCA of Florida's Emerald Coast Destin Board of Directors. Mr. Wood was elected to the council in 2008 and is serving his second term. He is also a member of the Active Retired Men of Destin. He serves as chair of the Okaloosa Walton Transportation Planning Organization, and for the third year, he was chosen by his peers as chair of that for his dedication and knowledge of transportation. He serves on the Northwest Florida Regional Transportation Planning Organization, or the TPO, the Northwest Florida Military Sustainability Partnership, the BRAC Task Force Subcommittee, and the Eglin Noise Committee. And this past year, very proud of Mr. Wood because he received the Chamber's Retired Military Person of the Year Award. We're very proud of you, Mr. Wood. We cannot do what we do in this great city with our tremendous partners. And I want to tell you just a little bit about just a few, because we have a lot. The Chamber, they sponsor the Destin Forward class, which builds Destin's future leaders one member at a time by educating business professionals on issues facing Destin. They were also awarded by the Florida Chamber Foundation in cooperation with other Okaloosa County's chambers with the 6 Pillars Award for completing a county-wide strategic plan using the Florida Chamber's 6 Pillars framework that will help strengthen the county's economic development efforts. Our EDC, they have partnered with us and the Chamber to develop an economic development ad valorem tax exemption program that we believe will boost Destin's economy. Church of Destin, we have a very unique group called the Church of Destin, who the city has had the privilege of working with to provide the Week of Blessings. And I would really like to thank Mr. Mel Ponder and Captain Mike Parker for forming this organization. The week that they formed, this week grew from the Blessing of the Fleet, which is now over 50 years. And the Week of Blessing is now a week-long celebration, which includes blessing our local government, marketplace, and businesses. This past year, we celebrated 10 years, and we are very blessed to be part of such a wonderful mission. Destin History and Fishing Museum, they keep our history and heritage alive here in Destin. We greatly appreciate them. The Mattie Kelly Arts Foundation, with the vision of bringing cultural arts to Destin, Mattie Kelly Arts Foundation has added significant events to our cultural village, and we're very proud of them. Our Destin Fire Control District couldn't be more proud. They look after our health and welfare every day. But our lifeguards this past year had 119 rescues and saw more than 2.2 million people on our beaches this year, and we greatly appreciate their service. Our Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office, our city worked with the Sheriff's Office to reduce the costs while maintaining a high level of protection for Destin. Captain Ted Paco, please raise your hand again, sir. He's actually part of the Destin family, and he attends all of our Monday staff meetings and our city council meetings. Thank you, Ted. We also partnered with the Sheriff's Office in 2013 to receive a grant to fund additional shifts to cover the safety and protection of our Destin streets. That grant is now fully implemented. Our city services. Every day, our city staff works very hard to provide all the services that each and every one of you deserve. And I couldn't be more proud, and I want to tell you a little bit about that. Our Parks and Recreation Department, they take care of 20 beautiful parks, and they maintain 11 beach accesses throughout our city. They continue to grow our sports tourism, and I'm going to talk a little bit later about that. Also, thanks to the Environmental Tree Committee, as well as a donation from Vision Landscaping, we now have a beautiful butterfly garden at the library, maintained by our parks crew and the garden club. Somebody told me there was buried treasure. That was the only reason why I was there. Our community center hosts children's programs, festivals, and community events all year long. We hosted more than 12 large community events throughout our great city. And I can honestly tell you, Lisa Firth over at the community center, she worked so hard along with her staff, and we greatly appreciate her service. We've also have our senior program. This is pickleball. This is just this new thing. It's wonderful. Our senior program moved its home to Buck Destin Park this year and continues to grow, and we had a 37% increase of our seniors. Also, the teen program expanded, which included new programming and resulted in a 30% increase in participation. Our library is so successful thanks to the wonderful leadership of Miss Urati Burns, and we thank you for your service, Urati. The library is host for so many wonderful community events and clubs. We have children's reading programs, and you can see a picture here of the Easter egg hunt. We've got adult learning classes such as photography and social media. Young adults increase their volunteerism by 5%, and their use of ACT and SAT electronic preparation testing service increased by 22%. The library also hosts art shows, tax preparations, assistance, computer classes, and the list goes on. And one thing I want to show all of you, we do a wrap in our newspaper in the Destin Log, and if you just look down, this is almost impossible to read. These are the services that our city provides. These are the classes. These are the special events that happen at the community center and beyond and out on our fields. Please, if you get the chance, take the time and take advantage of some of these wonderful services our staff offers. Next up, our community. We are very proud of the Community Development Department and all the work that's coming out of there. Code enforcement, they worked diligently in 2013 to identify more than 300 unregistered short-term rental properties within the city. By registering these folks, this will allow the city to communicate with short-term rental owners companies, and is essential to the quality of life during tourist seasons. Permitting was up 23% by over 2012. And just a note, the gentleman you see there, Mr. Larry Ballard, he's been with the city over 25 years, and Noelle Bell there, she's been with the city at least 12. Building inspections were up 38% over 2012, which I just alluded to. In 2013, we worked to update our comprehensive plan, floodplain management plan, and various ordinances to ensure that the city is in compliance with state and federal regulations and standards. We also saw 11 development review applications last year. In 2012, we only processed 3. These are all great indicators that our city and our economy are doing very well. Our city clerk, that's Mr. Ray Bailey. Mr. Ray Bailey was actually our leader of the year before last. Very proud. Our city can't do what we do without the city clerk's department. It's almost like the heart of the whole organization because everything comes in and out of our city clerk's office. Our city clerk's office attended 193.5 hours of meetings, and they maintained 129 sets of minutes. They increased our digital file database to approximately 88,000 files. They continue to see a decrease in public records requests because of the availability of information now on the city's website, and we reduced that by 33%, and we also saved a heck of a lot of trees. Our finance department continues to find ways to save the city money. We refinanced a bond that will save the city over $95,000 per year for its life. We received the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award from the Government Finance Officers Association of the United States and Canada for the 9th year in a row. In 2013, we also received the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting for the Comprehensive Annual Finance Report for the 18th year in a row. And I just want to show you this slide. We continue to operate with one of the lowest budgets in the state of Florida. And we do a heck of a job because our staff maintains that, and our city council looks at this every single day. I want you to look at this slide. This is from 2009, because when I keep talking about some of the things that we do in our great city and the highlights that I'm going to show you, I want you to keep this slide in the back of your mind. In order to keep our harbor open, our public service department worked so very hard. We completed an emergency dredge of the Old Pass Lagoon Channel in May, storing 8,000 cubic yards of sand on Norriega Point, and I would like to thank Mr. Steve Schmidt and David Campbell for their hard work and dedication. and making sure that happened. They completed numerous pathway projects and roadway repairs throughout the city, including a major undertaking on Kelly Street. We completed the Highway 98 beautification project from Crystal Beach Drive to the Walton County line. We installed flashing lights along Airport Road curve as per our Public Works Public Safety Committee's recommendation. Our committees make recommendations and the City Council listens. That's very important to us. We conducted extensive field work in preparation for drainage improvements throughout the city. We completed the rehabilitation of Destiny East, stormwater outfall. We completed the annual citywide tree trimming, removing approximately 480 cubic yards of vegetation over city streets and sidewalks. And I can tell you, no one knows the lengths nor the depths that our city staff will go to get the darn job done. But I do. Our city staff cleaned and repaired the harbor pump and intake that stretches into the Gulf of Mexico. This keeps our Destin Harbor clean. This saved the city so much money doing this very difficult task in-house, meaning we didn't have to go out and get people to do this. Thank you, sir, over there. Comments, 2013 city highlights. Remember I told you about the slide? Well, we've got some amazing city highlights that I want to share with you. We had a wonderful library renovation this year. We completed the construction of the new library study rooms, and we are very proud of our public services crew for this endeavor. Again, saving the city money by doing it in-house. The renovations expanded meeting space with 2 new study rooms and a digital media lab. The Youth Council worked with library staff in designing a special teen area. They also helped library staff in shifting the books to prepare the library renovations. And by the way, the Destin Youth Council was also featured in the December edition of Quality Cities magazine for their involvement in our great community. Beach restoration. We had a very viable beach restoration and successful beach restoration project that was constructed in early 2013, and that's us cutting the ribbon on that project. The City of Destin partnered with Okaloosa County to restore approximately 1.1 miles of beach on the southwestern end of the city along Holiday Isle. The project was funded in full by the Okaloosa County Tourist Development Council with bed tax dollars and an MSBU collection from the owners on Holiday Isle. Approximately 600,000 cubic yards of sand was used to restore the beach to its original healthy profile, as well as sea oak planting. This project is a huge benefit to the city's tourism industry, as well as to the protection of upland structures. I'm very, very proud of the Destin City Council for their persistence in making this happen, as well as the staff and the TDC for working so diligently to make this project happen. And I'd also like to give a shout out to Mr. Jim Trafilio, even though he's not here from the TDC. He was such a great help, and to our staff, Steve and David. We revitalized the Adopt a Street program, and that's Mr. Wood on the left in his nice handy-duty little vest. We increased participation in the Adopt a Street program with 17 participants, 16 which are brand new in 2013. The volunteer program maintained 16.3 miles of streets within the city limits. Also, the resurrection of this initiative was actually the idea of our youth council again. Okay, remember when I was talking about sports tourism? Here we are. Sports tourism continues to grow within the city of Destin. It increased the number of sports tourism events from 25 events in 2012 to 35 events last year, an increase of 29% over the previous year. Increases can be attributed to staff's commitment to reaching out to potential users to try our facilities and then meeting their needs on site with top quality fields and customer service. And I'd like to give out a shout to Mr. Lance Johnson. Thank you so much for your hard work and dedication. We greatly appreciate that. Little League tournament was held in July at Morgan Sports Center. More than 2,000 people attended this week-long event, dumping thousands of dollars into our community. We also hosted a large basketball tournament at our community center with more than 2,000 visitors from across the Southeast, and another is expected for this year. These types of events are putting Destin on the map in the sporting event worldwide, not to mention boosting and diversifying our economy that you hear so much about. We cut the ribbon on the parking lot on Marler Street in May of 2013. This project is a result of the Destin Harbor Community Redevelopment Agency's work to provide more public parking in the city's harbor district. The Marler Street parking lot now has 147 spaces, 6 of which are handicap accessible, 8 bike racks, benches, trash cans, bus stops, beautiful landscaping. This project is one step in a larger plan to provide accessibility to the Destin Harbor and the Destin Harbor Boardwalk. I'd like to also note that our city staff, public services crew did a fine, outstanding job again. Very proud of them. The Fisherman's Wharf Outfall has, this project has worked for more than 6 years. We tried for over 6 years to find funding to construct this project. The outfall was finally improved and the project completed in 2013 at no cost to the city other than the original engineering cost in 2007. The city submitted the project to FTEP again in early FY13 for grant funding. DEP used its NERDA funds to bid and construct the project. This project is significant as the outfall serves as a major filter for stormwater runoff in the Destin Harbor, and it's part of the city's Clean Water Initiative, which is so important to our great city. And here is an ad that we try to run that was put in so that we can attract more visitors down to our harbor and the local people alike at no cost to the city, by the way. Our East Pass Inlet Management Plan. We actually partnered with DEP in June of 2013 to conduct a thorough study of East Pass with extensive data collection and wave calibrations, and presented its final East Pass Inlet Management Plan to the Destin City Council and Okaloosa County. Both entities have endorsed the plan, and the plan was adopted by the state of Florida in August 2013. Now, sand dredged from East Pass can be shared by all and will go to the most critically eroded beaches in Okaloosa County. Our social media. We continue to use social media to reach residents and businesses. In 2013 alone, we had more than 2,000 views of our YouTube channel, taking our overall views to more than 5,000 to date. We continue to use Facebook and Twitter to market our leisure services activities and to provide emergency notifications to the public. We embarked upon another citizen survey this past year, and the city worked with the National Research Center to administer a survey of Destin citizens to better understand the needs as compared to municipalities nationwide. Opportunities for improvement include public transit, traffic flow, and land use planning and zoning. And I just want all of you to know that our quality improvement teams are working very hard to look at those issues and come back and provide solutions. The NRC conducted its citizen survey in over 429 jurisdictions across the United States. Destin ratings were much above the average rating nationwide in the following areas, and I'm not going to name all the areas, but I want you to know a few. Much above. Overall quality of life, our city is a place to live, overall appearance of our city, the feeling of safety against violent crime and property crimes, emergency preparedness services, air quality, recreation opportunities and facilities, our city as a place to retire, overall image or reputation of our city, courteousness of our city employees. And I want to take a special note, if you look at the top thing up there, 96% of our citizens that were surveyed stated that Destin was a great place to live. We were also brave enough to do a business survey. In 2013, the City of Destin Business Survey was conducted by Auburn Technical Assistance Center and Percy Associates. The third-party web-based survey made available to the 1,433 businesses within the city limits during January and February of 2013. The purpose of the survey was to gain information that the city could use to improve its services and to provide a baseline that the city can use to track the effect of its performance. Some statistics that were garnered from this survey are the following. 35% of the businesses that responded have been in business in Destin 15 years or longer. I thought that was really interesting. 81 of the respondents felt they had a good or very good overall relationship with city government. 86% believe the city has met or exceeded their expectations for overall quality of services. 93% of the respondents felt Destin was the same or better as a place to do business as compared to 2 years ago. The best in class was the city of Coral Springs, who ranked it at 82%. The city of Destin should take great pride in its high performance in some of these areas, and we're very proud of the fact that we had the strength and courage to do a business survey in the first place. This year we honored Ms. Sue Getz. She was named the 2013 Senior of the Year. She's served the community in numerous capacities over the years and is an active member of the Seniors of Destin. Her peers classify her as a go-getter, and I couldn't agree more. We thank Sue for all that she does in our wonderful, great community. Restore Act. Everybody's heard about the Restore Act. The Okaloosa County Restore Act Advisory Committee was appointed by the Okaloosa County Commissioners, and I'm actually very proud to serve as its chairman. We are charged with vetting projects that are submitted for grant funding for our county. Millions of dollars are going to be infused in our economy, and I am very thankful that we have a seat at the table. The Okaloosa County League of Cities Board of Directors, made up of 9 of our cities, actually contacted the county, and we asked for 2 seats, and the county was kind enough to grant us that, and we are grateful for that. So we have 2 seats representing 9 cities in Okaloosa County. Norriega Point. Destin was blessed this year in obtaining a grant for $10.2 million for the restoration and stabilization of Norriega Point from the Natural Resource Damage Assessment, which is funded by BP for early restoration projects. This was an extremely competitive grant process and took a lot of work to keep up and to keep our project front and center to secure this extraordinary grant award. And I'd like to thank Ms. Lindy Chabot. Could not have done that without you, and for you having to consistently change the application every time I ask you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Looking ahead. Well, we've got a lot of wonderful things that are coming our way here in Destin, and I just want to tap on just a couple of those items. One future project that we have is a fully signalized intersection at the corner of Marlar Street and Highway 98. This project will provide safe pedestrian crossing for locals and visitors from our new Marlar parking lot to the Harbor District and to the Destin Harbor Boardwalk. Very excited about that project. The Captain Royal Melvin Heritage Park. As you can see, the vision of this park is tremendous, and we have an opportunity to do something really, really great here. This amazing park will serve as the gateway to the Destin Harbor and our boardwalk. It will also be a focal point and gathering place along our harbor for festivals, fishing tournaments, community events, and so much more. Norriega Point. Next project on the horizon is Norriega Point, restoration and stabilization. It will provide approximately 8 acres of sugar white sand, a wider harbor access for our fishermen, educational elements, and much-needed amenities. The permanent restoration of Norriega Point will be one of the most important accomplishments the city of Destin has embarked upon in over 30 years. Our small city has struggled with preserving the point since Hurricane Opal in 1995, when it first was breached. The amount of staff time, energy, and resources devoted to emergency conditions and Band-Aid fixes year after year is beyond calculation and costs. To fund a $10 million project 100% through grant funding was always beyond the realm of possibility. For this to happen is truly a godsend for our city and for our region. And just to be clear, the city's intent has always been to conserve and preserve the point as a precious natural resource. The park amenities planned are very low impact and will in no way change the character of the point as a geographical landmark and boaters' beach. Beautiful. In closing, Destin has such a great and bright future ahead of us because we have such an amazing, solid foundation on which to stand. We are blessed to have an excellent relationship with our county and its commissioners, and we are very proud of Captain Kelly Wines for your representation of Destin on the county commission. Thank you, sir. We have an amazing city staff that works so hard to achieve the mission of making this city the best that it can be. They don't just come to a job, they own it with us. Destin truly values our history and our heritage. We'll be celebrating next year 100 years of the Destin Christmas tradition that started in 1915. Next January, we will celebrate 30 years as a city. 36 years of the Destin Seafood Festival. Mike Eller, we're waiting for you. 66 years of the Destin Fishing Rodeo. Our economy will be even stronger because we are becoming nationally recognized. Southern Living, best beach in the South for 14 years. TripAdvisor, top destination in the U.S. and #3 destination on the rise. National Geographic recognized us as a top place to visit. The Huffington Post, top 10 best places to buy a vacation home. Travel Channel, best family beach in 2013. Good Morning America recognized us as one of the 10 most beautiful places in America. The best part of our city is the outstanding citizens who reside here. They have such a tremendous community spirit. And let me tell you, that is what makes up a great city. We will be successful in our great city if we plan for the future, but we continue to focus and truly remember what the blessings of our great community is. We will be very successful. Ladies and gentlemen, I present you the state of the city of Destin. Thank you. Thank you, thank you.